In this tutorial, we're going to learn some basic techniques for NURBS modeling or patch modeling. And the first thing that we want to do is make sure that our setup is correct. So please follow the tutorials for setting up the Maya file as well as importing your image planes. In this tutorial, what I have, the way that I have installed the image planes is through the viewport image planes, and select on import image and select your appropriate image for your particular view. This is the side view of the car with the side view of in the orthographic view. So you'll want to go ahead and do that for the side, the top, the front. The perspective has no image plane showing, and you can also set up your back camera if you want. So to begin, what we're going to do is, once we have our vehicle installed, what we're going to do to start with is find the curves, the basic curves of our vehicle. This is what's called the belt line right across here. I usually start with that by plotting out a curve right along that point, and then going back in, finding the wheel wells. So let's go ahead and begin with that. I'm starting to build my custom shelf for this project. You can do that by creating a new shelf and go ahead and installing the tools that we're going to be using. I always start with delete history and freeze transforms, and in this case I have already installed the edit curve tool that I'll be using quite a bit, and as we work we'll go ahead and install other tools as well. Alright, right up here in the Create panel you will, this is where your NURBS primitives are. Go down a little bit, you have a CV tool, curve tool, and an edit point curve tool, which is the one that I typically use. It gives you edit points instead of CVs on the curve for easy manipulation. If you click on the tool settings, you can see that I'm using the cubic uniform. And so now I'll just go ahead and begin plotting out my curves. I'm going to imagine that this curve comes right down here, and I'll start right here, and I'll just go through, and what I'm looking for is anything that may be intersecting, such as the windshield, the frame. Plot one in the doorway here where the door is opening, the back goes, and then a couple right here to end this particular curve. Now when I hit enter, that completes the curve, and I can go ahead and, if I right click on there and select control verts, I can see where my control vertices are, and I can go ahead in here and use my move tool and go ahead and move those, make sure that they're right where I want them. Okay, as I work along here to position these, it's fine. Alright, now what you'll be doing is plotting a lot of these curves as you work. This is the initial step to creating the patches that we're going to need for our model. Alright, and at the very end, this is important, you'll have some open boxes which indicate where the curve has started. Now that's very important for the reason that if you start on this end and plot curves, then your beginning points for that particular curve are on this end, and then when you go back to select both of those to create a patch, you'll get something that's twisted looking. So you can, if you do make that mistake, you can go ahead and reverse that It's just a click of a button, but I will show you where that is a little bit later in case that should happen to you. You need to reorder something. Alright, so once I have that curve, I'll go ahead and plot in another. Okay, we don't want a lot of curves and we don't want a lot of points. We just want to make the keep it really low, resolution low as possible. So when I go in here and try to find those areas to define, I'll want to hit the high points or the low points in those particular areas that will help me define this shape. So once I have the side view, I'm going to go ahead and check it in the front view. You can see this is plotted on the grid, so we'll take that curve and we will move that over to where it's should be positioned, right along the top of that. I'm going to say that would be the curve that's right next to where the belt line should be, is right on the intersection of the hood and the fender there. So now a really quick way to get some more splines down is what I do is Control D for duplicate and then drag that over, and I can get another curve right away, and then just go ahead into the side view and begin to position that one where I think it should be. Now I'm going to be switching back and forth here to get these curves into position here. This one is going to be almost in the same position along the top there. Move that one up slightly. Now I'll right click again on that, Control Verts, and go ahead and position this one. Now you can see that my front view is a little bit different than my side view, so I'm going to find the average of that. Move that back down. My side will be dominant for reference then. I think it's better. Alright, now what I can do is the same thing again. Go ahead into my front view, Control D, create another spline. Okay, now I will go ahead and bring this down, right click, Control. Now I'm going to go ahead and find some of those areas right along there that are going to help me to find this. Find the shape of this car a little bit more. Yeah. The hazards of using too many different software packages at one time. And get your keystrokes down. Alright, so this is the beginning. Now what I'm going to do is go ahead and, rather than try to plot out a circle that is available to me already in the NURBS primitives, so you can find a circle, and then I will go ahead and plot that and drag, and that gives me a nice shape to work with without having to plot that point by point. Alright, in order to duplicate that, Control D and drag, and that will give me the back real well as well. I'm going to go ahead and scale that up a bit. This one a little bit too. Alright, so as we continue to lay out our splines, we will be cutting and snapping splines together. We will be setting up different splines, duplicates of splines, in order to get the most accurate patch. But everything is eventually converted to polygons, quads, for us to continue to cut in the smaller areas. NURBS patches are simply a quick first step to lay out some nice even surfaces, nice flowing surfaces. So we need to get as much definition as in here as possible without going overboard, enough to be able to model in some of this surface deformation without getting too heavy, so that when we convert this, it'll still be easily manipulated. What we don't want to do is push and pull verts after we have completed this surface, because you will get those what appears to be dents in the surface, and it's just not going to be giving you a really great reflective surface like we want in our final render. So let's pause here, and we will continue to work with the splines, and I'll show you a couple of techniques for doing that in our next tutorial.